In a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young man named Arjun. He was 20 years old, full of dreams but lacking the courage to take charge of his life. Since childhood, he had been dependent on others, his parents, friends, and even strangers. Whenever he faced difficulties, he looked for someone to help him, instead of trying to solve the problem himself. His father, Raghav, was a hard-working farmer who had built everything from scratch. He had struggled for years to make a living, working from sunrise to sunset. He always told Arjun, "Son, life is like a field. You reap what you sow. Stop waiting for others to plow your land." But Arjun never took his father's advice seriously. He was too used to a life where everything was handed to him. Arjun had never faced real hardship. His parents provided for him, and whenever he needed something, it was given without question. His father gave him money, his mother cooked his meals, and his friends helped him whenever he faced challenges. He lived in a comfortable bubble, unaware of the struggles of the real world. While his father worked tirelessly in the fields and his mother managed the household, Arjun spent his time aimlessly. He loved hanging out with his friends, wasting time on unimportant things, and avoiding any real responsibility. He had big dreams. He wanted to be successful, wealthy, and respected, but he never put in the effort to achieve anything. One evening, his father called him and said, "Arjun, I won't be around forever. You need to learn how to stand on your own feet." Arjun laughed and replied, "Why should I struggle when you are here?" His father just smiled and said, "Time will teach you." One fateful evening, Arjun's life changed forever. His father suffered a severe heart attack. Though he survived, the doctor advised complete rest for at least a year. Suddenly, the weight of responsibility fell on Arjun's shoulders. For the first time in his life, he had to take care of the family. His mother, though strong, couldn't manage everything alone. The farm needed to be maintained, bills had to be paid, and food had to be put on the table. Arjun was terrified. He had never handled money, never worked in the fields, and never made a difficult decision. He felt lost, confused, and overwhelmed. Desperate, he turned to his uncle for help. His uncle, a wealthy businessman, refused, saying, "You're not a child anymore. Learn to fight your own battles." His friends, who once laughed and enjoyed with him, had their own struggles. No one had the time to fix his problems. Reality hit him hard. No one was coming to save him. Arjun realized that if he didn't act, his family would suffer. He had no choice but to step up. The first thing he did was wake up at dawn and go to the fields. He had never worked so hard in his life. His hands, once soft, became rough with blisters. He struggled to plow the land, water the crops, and manage the cattle. The sun burned his skin, his body ached, and exhaustion threatened to break him. At first, he made many mistakes. He overwatered the crops, causing some to die. He miscalculated the amount of fertilizer needed. He even lost some money, because he didn't know how to bargain in the market. But instead of giving up, he learned from his failures. To understand business, he borrowed books from a small library in town and read them at night. He also observed experienced farmers and asked questions, something he had never done before. For the first time in his life, Arjun realized that knowledge was the key to independence. Months passed, and Arjun began to change. He no longer waited for help, he found solutions. When the crops needed water, he repaired the broken irrigation system himself. When he ran out of money, he sold vegetables in the market. Slowly, he started making profits. He began keeping records of expenses and earnings, ensuring that no money was wasted. He learned how to save and invest wisely. He no longer spent money recklessly on unnecessary luxuries. His confidence grew. He started helping his mother with household expenses, something he had never done before. He no longer feared responsibilities, instead, he embraced them. One day, his father, now recovering, saw Arjun working in the fields and smiled proudly. "I told you, life is like a field. You finally started plowing your own land." Arjun nodded, realizing the wisdom in his father's words. Arjun's transformation didn't just help his family, it changed his entire mindset. One day, he met an old friend who was still stuck in the cycle of dependency. His friend complained about not getting a job, about how life was unfair, and about how he wished someone would help him. Arjun listened patiently and then said, "No one is coming to save you. The only person who can change your life is you." His friend didn't understand at first, but Arjun knew the truth. He had spent years waiting for others to fix his problems, but life had taught him a valuable lesson: dependency is a weakness, but self-reliance is power. A year later, Arjun was no longer the same boy who once feared responsibility. He had saved enough money to expand the farm. He started a small dairy business alongside crop farming, ensuring financial stability. His father was proud, his mother was relieved, and the villagers respected him. He was no longer a boy who needed help, he was a man who could help others. One evening, his old friends visited. Seeing his transformation, they asked, "How did you change so much?" Arjun smiled and said, "The day I stopped waiting for others and started believing in myself, everything changed." Arjun's journey teaches us 5 powerful lessons. Number 1. Self-reliance is freedom. Depending on others makes you weak. The sooner you take charge of your life, the sooner you gain control over your future. Number 2. No one is coming to save you. Friends, family, and society might support you, but at the end of the day, you must solve your own problems. Number 3. Failures are the best teachers. Arjun made mistakes, but instead of quitting, he learned from them. Every failure is an opportunity to grow. Number 4. Hard work and knowledge lead to success. Success isn't about luck, it's about effort and continuous learning. Number 5. Taking responsibility changes everything. The moment Arjun embraced responsibility, his entire life transformed. Moral of the story: we must stop waiting for others and start taking action. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always come. The question is, will you rise and face them, or will you wait for someone to save you? Dependency weakens, but self-reliance empowers. The sooner you realize that, the stronger you become. So, stop depending on others. Take charge of your life. Carve your own path.